that's going to be woven in throughout this entire experience. And we gave you a little bit of an overview around that. Today, we're going to be focusing on that personal skills component of that framework. So when we think about work ethic, integrity, and we're going to have some great conversations this morning with some employers. They're going to dive in and peel back some layers on this. But before we do that, I want to make sure you know the quality employers that are in here. So I'd like to introduce Ms. Jenny Bowen to come up and introduce our incredible employers and just bring some greetings on behalf of Rivers East. Jenny?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for venturing to Beaufort County today. We're excited to have you here in Beaufort. Excited to continue to see the Rivers East Academy grow as we do each session. And we're very pleased today on behalf of myself as well as Brad Hufford and the Local Economic Development Group to have multiple employers here to talk with you this morning through Shop Talk. So we have Renee and Kim are here from Nutrien, which I'm going to let them talk a little bit about what they do and make, because that's a very unique site. Shelly Tuba is back from Grady White Boats. Shelly lives here in Beaufort, so we captured her again. We didn't let her just stay in Pitt. We also have Kevin Boyd here with Oak Ridge. They do more metalwork type work. And then, who else? I see Robin from the Chamber and Brenda Hawkins with Pamlico Yacht Works. See, I've, virtual. I've heard her name. We've emailed back and forth, but I don't think I've ever seen her in person, so that was on me. We also have some other support folks here today that you will see or talk about, but just so you know, since you spent a lot of quality time with Todd last time, and Trey has done such a good job, their boss is here today, Mr. Van Rogerson. He just wants to see all those, he's like me, he likes to sit back and watch what everybody's doing because we get the little bits and pieces, but it's always nice to be able to see things actually in action. So thank you, welcome, and we're ready to get started.
Yeah, we'll get started. Thank you, Jenny. Let's give Rivers East a big round of applause for the incredible work they're doing here. And a key partner today would not be possible without, and you're going to get to experience our incredible community college system as we go throughout the entire Rivers East Academy. Would love to welcome up Mr. Ben Morris. He's Dean here at Beaufort Community College. Ben, come on up.
Good morning. I'm Ben Morris. I'm the Dean of the Business, Technology, and Public Service Division here at the college. I want to welcome you here. One thing that's probably the most important thing that I need to tell you is where the bathroom is at. So if you go back out just like you're going the way you came in, but instead of heading straight to the door, make a hard right. That's where the bathrooms are. So I wanted to tell you that. But I do want to welcome you here. I appreciate the interest that you're taking in the career and technical education programs, because that is really a great way for somebody to make a living wage. And I really appreciate all of you doing this and coming and sharing your time with us, and hopefully we can build some really good partnerships. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben. Big round of applause for Beaufort Community College. Thank you, Ben. Now, up next is one of the most exciting parts. Next, we're going to jump into our Shop Talk series, where you're going to get to hear from some incredible industry experts, moderated by Mr. Trey Goodson over here. So we're going to have a great panel for you. After that, to give you a little bit of logistics, once that Shop Talk panel wraps up, we're going to be heading outside, check out a great boat building demo, and then we're going to split up into our groups and go get some more rich hands-on experiences and some of the awesome programs they have here at Beaufort Community College. So we'll go over those logistics when we get there, but without further ado, Jenny did a great job of introducing some awesome industry folks that are with us. So I want to bring up Trey and our industry partners here for an incredible conversation on employability skills and what the industry looks like here in Beaufort County.
Is this a recorder? For the, yep. So Renee, Brenda, come on up. We'll have you sit. Yeah. Is there who else? Kevin? We're gonna pull you in. We're going to the bullpen, Kevin. I'm sorry. It's all right. Easy questions. Nothing crazy. All right. Thank you guys for coming today. Happy to have you. Welcome to the second edition of Shop Talk series. We've got some great employers today. Again, I'm Trey Goodson, Director of Marketing Communications with NC East Alliance. First, we want you to introduce yourselves, who you are, who you work for, and what you do.
Hi, I'm Human Resources at Nutrien in Aurora, North Carolina. I've been with the organization since 2014. I've been in Human Resources since the 90s. It's nice to see all of you today.
Hello, I'm Brenda Hawkins, Pamlico Yacht Works, which is a new startup company. I've been there since 2021. I have 32 plus years in human resources, so I'm there with you, Renee. Glad to be here today.
I'm Kevin Boyd. I'm founder of Oak Ridge Industries. It started in '96, expanded greatly in 2012. Today we're about 65 employees, and we manufacture sheet metal products, welding, maintenance services, etc. for local industry.
Thank you guys. Glad to have you here today. Quick question for my video folks. Do I need to pass this around?
Yes, if you could.
Okay, sorry. Thank you. My first time. Renee, so first we'll start off, basic question. What does employability mean to you and your organization? When you look at an employee, what are you looking for? What does employability mean to you?
I think what most leaders are looking for when they're interviewing individuals for employability, if we're looking for someone maybe right out of high school who doesn't have a lot of experience, I think you're looking for someone who has shown initiative. So whether that's, clubs, different certificates and things that they may have earned. We do utilize the CRC, so someone who is able to have done well on that and meet that criteria, and just shown maybe some type of familiarity or with work ethic, that they have done something to show that they can go somewhere and kind of stay, and that they can continue to grow. When we're looking for individuals who may have had some work history, that we're looking for people with experience, it's a similar thing. That they have gone somewhere, that they have shown, mobility up front, through their career, that they are promotable. Generally that shows that someone can come to work on time, and that someone else has recognized that work ethic. From a skills, ability, we are looking for trades and craft and heavy equipment operation. If you aren't familiar with Nutrien, and I didn't mention that earlier, we are a phosphate mine in Aurora. So we are one of the largest deposits of ore on the East Coast of phosphate. And what we do is very unique. There's 1,000 employees at our site, and it generally is craft and trading, heavy equipment operation, chemical plant operation. So that is the kind of individuals that we're looking for that's interested in that kind of work. You can have a great career at Nutrien for your entire life, and can start out at, frontline, entry level, and then just grow. So someone coming right out of high school who's not college track can come and grow their career in 100 different directions, whether it's safety, operations, leadership. Safety is probably one of the biggest things, to have that core ethic of caring about yourself and the people that you work with and making sure that you do things the right way. I think that's part of work ethic in general, that you are kind of honest and that you do things correctly. Showing up on time, being coachable, and having a willingness to learn and being motivated.
Go ahead. Well, I would say ditto to everything Renee said. As far as Pamlico Yacht Works, we build custom yachts for MJM, which is a 20-year legacy with the Johnstone family. Building a company from a startup, we had people to draw from other areas, different counties that, have boat building operations. But, we also have to think about what we can do to contribute to the community where we already have other employers basically doing the same processes that we do. So we're focusing on training employees, and so having someone with the mindset, that this is a trade I want to learn. I'm willing to invest my time. We have classes that we're offering. We're getting ready to partner with the community college at the first of the year in an apprenticeship program, and we've been very privileged to be able to work with Connor and Ben and that team with their boat building school. So as far as technical skills, they're aware of what we need, and we're trying to customize a program to be able to employ more people that don't have that skill. One of the most important areas that we focused on lately is just core competencies, and this is a top-down process that, is it okay if I talk about that now, or do you want me to?
Go right ahead.
Okay. I had a good conversation with Trey about this, but as far as being employable is being, to me, understanding how to make quality decisions, and knowing how those decisions impact your peers, impact your department, impact the company. And that's, decisions that we make in our personal lives about, whether we're going to get up early enough to arrive at work on time, or, we're going to let something slide, and that kind of goes back to integrity. It all starts with a decision, and it's something that's hard to teach, but I think in a collaborative effort, we can all find ways to further develop, our up-and-coming employees and help them with those core competencies.
Wow. I got to follow up to all that in that question.
You want to trade places?
I've been in hiring and to metal workers for all my life, for my career, 32 years at Flanders, and then what time I've had Oak Ridge here since 2012. I've always said when I could walk an employee from the front office to the back office, shop floor, I could tell whether he was a good employee or not. It's just the way he carries himself, the way he looks at things, his observations and things of that nature. I could tell whether he was going to be a good hire or not. So those are things we're looking. And as teachers, and when I want to hats off, because I get a lot of young kids and stuff today, I respect all you teachers. Hats off to you guys, and y'all deserve a hand. But because we get those employees too, they're right fresh out of college, or high school. But what I would really suggest to teachers today is field trips. Kids don't know what they want to do in life. They don't even know what's out there. They don't have a clue how things are made, built, done, and a lot of it is fascinating to kids. So I would suggest, there's a lot of people that choosing a career, if they saw what careers were all about downstream, they may make a better choice or make the right choice first. So I encourage you guys at our shop. I'm sure Nutrien does the same thing. Grady White, Pamlico, I encourage field trips. Seeing is believing, So that's just some suggestions that I would suggest to you guys, and I feel like all our doors are open.
Yeah,
and ditto to all that other stuff they said too.
I'll pass that invitation out. One of the things that we have wanted to do, and our training manager is here today as well, and similar to what she mentioned, is that we grow within, right? I mean, if you come in at an entry-level individual, we have very specific training programs, and we will train you. We have apprenticeship programs for our maintenance and electricians, and we also have an operator and training program for our chemical plants and heavy equipment operators. So someone doesn't have to come in with experience, and they can grow their career. And any of you that are interested, one of the things that we were hoping to do next year as part of our program in the HRN training was bring schools on site and be able to do presentations about what careers are, and opportunities are available. And we're looking at individuals between that 8th grade, and 10th or 11th before they're making those final decisions, about what they would like to do. So if any of you would be interested, I just know that's not necessarily work ethic. I'm doing a little promoting. Stop by and see me. I'll hand you my card and we can talk.
No, thank you guys. That's why we're here. It's so important is to get connected to these employers. I hope I'm invited as well. I love field trips. Can't wait to go, especially on the boat ride, Brenda. Really looking forward to that one. So thank you guys. Renee, you touched on safety, and it's so important to understand safety as an employee. In your respective companies, how do you teach safety? How do you identify an employee that can understand safety? And what are those different safety rules that you have within your operation? And Renee, we'll start with you.
Oh my goodness. So safety first is obviously a core value. We want everyone to go home the same way that they came. And it is a core value. It's something that we talk about every single day. We have multiple individuals that come onto our site that have worked for other employers and just say that it's just different. I absolutely think that our leadership team and all of our employees get up every single day with that as a mindset. You know, we have a stop work authority that anybody can stop work at any level, no matter who it is, that if you think it's unsafe and you're not certain, you can stop a job. And you can step back, you can evaluate it. Maybe it was 100% fine and you can keep going, but you were uncertain and you wanted everybody to be safe and you wanted to be sure before you took that next step. And, you know, we do a lot of things in our organization. People, are exposed to a lot of different things, and we just want to make sure everyone is safe. I mean, what we do is safe, and we take all those protocols, but we want to make sure everybody feels that way, and we continue to operate, and we don't skip any steps that could potentially, harm someone or someone else or a coworker. So it is 100% a mindset. You know, we want to stop. We want to take frequent breaks. You have to continue to also, environments change. And I think you don't think about it so much. I mean, I completely look different at driving since I've started with this company. I mean, everything I do, even at home. I mean, it's one of those things that once you kind of are in this environment, you take it with you. Whether it's putting on your goggles when you're weed eating, and different things, or maybe putting on, earmuffs to protect your hearing, different things that you might not think about, that you even take home with you. But for our employees, we want to make sure everybody is safe and that we just, they come in the first day. We have a 40-hour orientation. We spend 24 hours of that orientation just talking about safety at our plant site and making sure that employees, know before they go into it, and then, they have somebody that they work with. So, and how do you identify someone that has that mindset? I think you try to evaluate someone's ability to or willingness to take risk. We want to make sure that we have people that will slow down and that will ask questions. But I think it is definitely learned. I don't think that if you haven't been exposed to that type of environment or that type of language, you may not know. So it's just someone, again, who's willing to learn and be coachable. I think, that those things can be taught.
And again, we have that same philosophy that safety is first. We have identified our core elements that are most critical when it comes to safety, and that is, we use a lot of chemicals in our facility, and we also have a lot of pinch points, with mating and, putting boat pieces together. So that is something that we really have to train. We use cranes. We, have a system where, we have guarded areas when people are doing certain processes, and everybody in that team knows, look out for the other person. Everybody has their checks and balances in place. We do offer training. We're getting ready to send a whole team through OSHA 30 training here at the community college, as well as our internal environmental health and safety department. They do ongoing and annual training for our employees as well.
Here we go again. It's bad going last. I agree. Safety first. It's something we preach. We do we have a field service crew of about 20 guys. We work at facilities such as Nutrien, Domtar. We're all over the place. And Vivas has about 6 plants in eastern North Carolina. We provide a maintenance service for those guys 24/7. Safety is absolutely number one. And not only being a private business owner in the past, it's a lot of responsibility on us to make sure people play safe. We do have classes. It's a suggestion I would do. You heard her mention OSHA 30. There's different OSHA levels and I don't think kids coming out of high school have a clue on that. OSHA 10 to me would be a great class to have inside of high schools, and it tells you everything about fall protections, pinch points, hazardous materials, etc. Those would be good. That would be a good class on an industrial side to have, and I know none of it happens, but anyway, so that's about all I got.
Thank you guys. And playing off safety, I'm sure it helps to have a teammate there looking after you, working within a team environment that really helps and benefits to keep your operations safe. Within your organizations, how do you preach teamwork? What does teamwork look like within your organization? And yeah, just kind of expand on that question. And Kevin, I'll start with you this time.
You know, I have meetings, weekly meetings with the whole shop, and we practice that all. It's like rowing a boat. You got to get all the oars going in the right direction, or don't, you're going to go in a circle, and you're not going to get accomplished anywhere. Teamwork is very critical. There's no heroes. It takes a team to make it happen. And what we do, and I practice this, is we work on each other's weaknesses and we thrive on each other's strengths. And that's what makes a great team. So we practice it each week.
At Pamlico, we have go meetings, and we have them at the start of shift, at the end of break, which is the start of the second half of their morning, and then after lunch. And those go meetings basically is get organized. So our plant is in departments and substations, so each person has a different role. And as you are an internal customer to another team, then, as the boats advance through the production floor, there's going to be a different process at different parts of the day. You're going to start working on a different boat or on a different a mating process or something like that. So we have what we call a gate check and a handoff. So, our teams collaborate with each other. They go back to their areas, focus on, okay, what are we doing for the rest of the morning? They have boards with basically their task list. If there's any changes, the team lead communicates that. And I think one thing that's really important is to make sure that we don't promote skilled workers into leadership positions without giving them adequate training, because sometimes we can promote those great, outstanding employees to a level of incompetency because they just haven't been trained and become familiar with that transition from, say, peer to lead. So that would be one thing that we really focus on as far as team building, is to identify well in advance individuals within a team that could potentially become leaders, and we establish training programs for them, which includes metrics about our own company and how that fits the dynamics of overall team development and teamwork.
Again, I agree with what everyone here said. At Nutrien, again, I think pulling off of safety, we have what we call our Safety Team Leaders Project. So as a way to kind of continue the thought process of safety, also innovation and continuous improvement, every month we ask our teams, and these are our crews, and very few jobs at our site can be done independently and autonomously. Almost every single thing, and I think that's in most jobs, it requires, something that you do impacts someone else. And so it requires everyone to want to do their best and to really support their team. We have our toolbox meetings every morning that kind of kick off that day, and our leaders do that. But then we also have continuous improvement projects, and we ask them to kind of look around in something that you do every day. Keep that mindset and that eyesight on the fact that, could we do this safer? Could we do this different? Does this need to be this difficult? Could this be automated? Could we, if you're having to get on a ladder to turn this lever, maybe you can move this lever down and you don't have to actually get on that ladder. You can stand on your feet, and maybe just improve the process to eliminate a hazard. And we asked all of our employees to look at those things every day, and they submit these projects every month, to be able to win for the month. And then you have a team that wins for the year. And then that group can get to go on a trip or different, prizes and things like that that's part of that. So that keeps everyone thinking about improvement and continuous improvement. That also keeps them working together as a team to every month be looking for that next thing that we could potentially make better. And they submit that as a group, they win as a group. But there's lots of different things that we do. Building on what she said about leadership, we have a supervisor assessment program. If someone is interested, they can raise their hand. They begin to sit up when someone is absent. They go through our process. They take classes. We put them in leadership classes. And so when that time comes and that perfect job potentially comes available for them to apply to, it's not the first time they've sat in that interview setting. It's not the first time they've written a resume. It's not the first time that they've had an opportunity to lead a group of people. And it just obviously builds on success. And so those opportunities, you know, when we talk about Nutrien as a career, you can come in entry level, you can go into safety specialist planning, multiple different, whether it's a supervisor role, lots of different career opportunities that just, you know, that tree has 1,000 branches. And, you know, so there's lots of opportunities to grow within.
Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome.
Do we have time for one more question? Okay, awesome. Brenda, you touched on something. You can be the most skilled employee, the most skilled athlete, but maybe not be cut out to be a leader or even be a great teammate. What does being a leader look like at Pamlico Yacht Works? What does that training program look like, and what does it take to be a leader?
I brought this up here. Our owner, Peter Johnstone, the first week that I met him, he wrote in the front page of a book, and it's called FYI, and it's a personal development book that has 38 core competencies in it. He wrote a note in it and handed it to me, and we have established a program this year just based on that book, so that it's difficult, you know, to, of course, do your own personal assessment about skills such as managing ambiguity or being collaborative or communicating, or decision quality was one thing that Trey and I talked about. So we've really been focusing with our leadership team to evaluate our personal strengths and then look at, build on others, you know, learn from others that, so we've all identified where, you know, our strengths are with just these 18 so far, and, you know, what our roadblocks are, what our career stallers are, things like that we can all work on as a group. And you have to be very vulnerable, you know, with your team to be able to share those experiences. I'll just tell you, in our Clifton Strengths Assessment that I think is really great for every individual to do, you identify, you know, basically where you are against your team with different types of categories, and one of them is responsibility. So I personally, responsibility is my number one strength. But with that, you know, I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. I worry, I feel responsible, you know, for the whole company, basically, and each individual in it. But one of the things that I've learned through this collaboration and this training is that, you know, some of the things that I identified that might be a roadblock for me, such as overcommitting myself. Other individuals in the company recognize that, and, you know, when you say, I'll have that for you in 2 hours, and then for whatever reasons, you know, with my HR job, it doesn't happen that quickly. My team, I feel comfortable going back to them. There's where the vulnerability comes in and saying, hey, you know, I haven't had a chance to finish that for you yet, but I'll make that happen. So I think, you know, really focusing on individual personal assessment as a team, and then having someone help you facilitate through the differences and the dynamics of the team really helps your team become stronger.
Kevin, how do you identify a leader at Oak Ridge?
Well, my education experience, you know, it's one of my questions when I do interviews. You consider yourself a follower or a leader? You know, I always ask that question doing interviews, and it's kind of amazing some of the responses you get back. But no, definitely, like Brenda said, you know, there's a series. There's a lot of good employees that don't make good leaders, and there's people that are drivers and pushers, and yet they know when to pull back. And those it's an art. I mean, it is. It's a craft. It's an art, and not everybody has it. So I agree with her 100%. Not all great employees. I've got some great employees that didn't make good leaders at all, and I've ruined some good employees trying to make a leader out of them. I wouldn't say ruin them, but we had to go backwards, and it's hard to go backwards in compensation. If you ever move forward in compensation, it's hard to take an employee and put them back. So it's caused some issues in the past. So you just got to be careful with your leaders. Have training classes, educations, evaluations. We have an evaluation sheets that we do on our employees annually, and we pay close attention to those. And we always hire on the outside too, you know, and those are all risky because you don't know those employees like you do the one inside. But we do a lot of our leaders come from the outside because we don't have that guys ready to take that next step forward. But anyway.
I agree with everyone. I think, you know, everything that they said as well. You know, I think we do take a very, as logical a process with that step as we can. You know, a lot of those promotions are within. We do sometimes hire outside for experience, but we do try to grow employees that are interested in growing. We offer continuous education and all these different things to help support people and getting their career to where they want it to be. We want people to have the careers that they want. And if you are interested in leadership, we do take you through that process. There are assessments that we take. We have 360 peer interviews and different things. So you can get some insight into yourself, similar to what she said. Maybe there's some areas of opportunity. Part of that supervisor assessment is a development plan. You know, so where they're, you know, we talk to you about here's the things where you're really strong and here's the areas that you need to develop. And, you know, in ensuring that, I think that we want people in leadership roles who are team-minded, who want people to grow and who are coachable, you know, who can coach and who can help grow the people around them. And that's a big part of it, you know, and so kind of making sure that those individuals have that base knowledge, that they have exposure to leadership prior to actually taking that step into that role. It's a big step. Leading people is huge. And then supporting that group while they're there, you know, making sure they have the tools and the resources that they need to be successful in those roles. When they are having a challenge, that they can find someone who can help them with that.
Kevin, Brenda, Renee, thank you guys so much for your valuable insights today. I hope you're able to hang around and interact with some of the teachers here today for a little bit. So thank you so much for your time. That concludes Shop Talk.
Yeah, incredible panel. It's some deep thoughts. How many of us have often thought about everyone just because they're a great employee doesn't necessarily mean they're going to make a great leader just off the bat, right? If there's a takeaway from today, how do we work on developing those traits, those characteristics, many of which we see in that framework that we've been talking about to help people elevate to that? But there's also conversation around, when you look, a lot of times we have conversations about turning weaknesses into strengths, but there's a lot of data and research that shows if more effort is put into making the strengths that they already have even stronger and greater, the power in that compared to trying to turn a weakness into a strength and what someone can grow and become. So some incredible insights from our employers today. Thank you so much for jumping into that. Up next, we've got a really exciting piece to dive into, really unique programming that they offer here at Beaufort Community College is around boat building. And so we've got an incredible demonstration set up outside. It's going to give you a chance to preview some of the awesome pieces that they're going to do there. So when we dismiss from here, we're going to go out this hallway right out into the parking lot that you came in from. I imagine seeing a boat will be pretty easy to find where we're supposed to go out there. So look for a boat. That's the direction we'll go. Gather around there, and we'll split up from there. Thanks, everyone.